show you how to make a card, a really cute flower card right here. Hope you can hear me right here. I'm going to show you how to do your own background, your whole centerpiece, and even the bow. So stay tuned. Let me just switch cameras so I can show you exactly how it's done. Let's go right here. So what you're going to do is start off with a A2 size cardstock. This is 5.5 by 8.5, and we have this available on DeNamiDesign.com. What I like about it, it has a slight texture to it. It's nice and bright white, and it's thin enough to be able to fold it over without having the edges crack. So you just do that without needing a bone folder, and there you go. It's very, very simple. Then you just take a extra cardstock right here and cover this part up right here. And then using the Versa Magic Sea Breeze ink pad, take the 3-line border, which looks like this. It doesn't look like much, but there's a lot of versatility to it. You can do candy cane stripes, you can do borders, you can do backgrounds. So I'm just going to stamp this. This is the Sea Breeze, and I'm just going to start right here, just stamping it at an angle, like 45-degree angle. And line up the edge of the wood right here to the stripe. So then it'll be perfectly lined up and straight every single time. You don't have to worry about the lines being crooked if you do it that way. So nothing to line up, no need for a stamp positioner or anything like that. Like that. And there you go. So then I'm going to switch out the colors. So instead of Sea Breeze, I'm going to use the Aloe Vera Versa Magic. It's a green, like a sage green. So I'm going to clean off the ink in between. Just use a little towel right here. And I'm just going to ink this up. And then I'm just going to go the other direction. And once again, just line up the wood to the stripe. So if you want the stripes further apart, you just leave a little edge, kind of the even a uniform edge from the stamped image to the edge of the stamp. So if you want it further, just make sure it's the same equidistant apart. But if you want it closer, same thing. Just line up the wood to maybe a different stripe, maybe the center one or the first one. And then it'll be just straight every single time without having to do any measuring. So then when I remove this, look at that. You got a perfect little edge right there. So now I'm going to take another cardstock right here. I'm going to cut off about a little over an inch strip like that. Just going to move this. So you just have the little strip here, and I'm going to use the VersaFine Smoky Gray, and I'm going to use our scallop border. And this has a scallop just on one side. The other side is actually straight, and you'll see why. So just tap it. Make sure that the scallop border is on the edge, towards the edge of the little strip. And I'm just going at eye level so I could see where the scallop edge. So if you don't see me off camera, but I'm actually bending down to be able to see where I'm stamping it. Look at that. That's without any measuring. I just keep things simple. I don't like to fuss over stuff. So now I'm going to take the Sea Breeze again, and then I'm going to use this polka dotted border. I'll stamp that right in the middle. And the reason why there's only a scallop on one side is I can make this strip as wide as I want or as narrow as I want. So you just do one side and then you do the other side. So it really gives you a lot of versatility. So if I want it wider, I can stamp a message in there. In this case, I just want it to look like a little ribbon. So now I'm just going to take my marker right here, a Tombow marker, and just going to go right across there, the scalloped edge, just to add a touch of blue, like that. And then I'm going to flip it over and do the same on the other side. Just a touch of blue, like that. So if you do the plaid in a different color, you could just do a coordinating marker color. And VersaFine is water-based. It works best with water-based markers, so I would not recommend it with Copic markers. I know a lot of you do use Copics, but you wouldn't want to use it with this ink pad because it will actually smear. And when you stamp with VersaFine, make sure you stamp it onto a uncoated paper, because if it's coated, it's going to smear. So this is a great cardstock because I've never had any trouble with it smearing because there's no coating on it. So just put that right across there, let it overhang a little bit, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my scissors and just trim off the excess like this. So it's a perfect fit every single time. Look at that. Very easy. So then set this aside. And let me just move my supplies over so you can see. Okay, and then let's move this too. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take this little frame stamp, and then using the smoky gray, just going to tap that. Just going to stamp it right here. Look at that, it's a nice clean image. And then I created a little mask for this. For those who are new to stamping, what you do is you just take that frame, do it on another extra card stock, and just cut it out like this. I already used it, so that's why there's some extra markings on there. You just cover it up. And the purpose for this is then I could stamp the next stamp and not have it go right onto the frame. So the next one I'm going to do is this 3 stem stamp. You can choose different blossoms to go in it. I could do poinsettias, daisies, rosebuds, and it really makes it very versatile. So then you just stamp it like that, and then when you remove it, look at that. It's perfectly right on there. So then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little pinafore set right here. The pinafore sets are little stamp sets that you can use. See, there's 4 little stamps. And I'm going to use a solid one, but you can do any of these in that little one. So then I take my VersaFine or VersaMagic Sea Breeze again. And then I'm just going to stamp that over each of the stems. Okay, and then I'm going to take this light gray, color the leaves, and I'm just going to go over the stems just to add a little shading to it. Then I'll take the light blue, just add a touch of color just even to the frame. It doesn't take much, but it really makes a big difference. So look at that, I'm not fussing, I'm just using the brush end and I'm just swiping it. And it's not exact. I mean, just going pretty, quickly over that. So then I'm going to take my Quickie glue pen, which I think it's a must for any stamper. This is great even for if you do scrapbooking or paper crafting. These days people are doing a lot of die cut words and letters. This is a great way to attach it because it's very precise. So if you have really skinny letters, you don't have to deal with messy glues. So that's it. And then I'm just going to have my cardstock right here, a folded cardstock, to catch the excess glitter. This is our Sparklets by DeNami Design. It's the blue ice. You're just going to add that. Tap off the excess. I don't know if you could see how it shimmers at all, but it's very, very delicate. You can see it most when you have the light shining at the right angle. But it really makes it more finished looking than if it was just plain. So then I take my scissors. I'm going to cut around there. And a lot of people, they tend to want to cut right on the line, but I'm going to tell you to leave a little margin around there. Because what that does, it gives you a little wiggle room. So in case you maybe aren't too exact, you won't cut off anything. But if you went right up to the line, you have to be so exact that, even a little bit if you cut off a little bit of it, it's going to really affect how it looks. So if you just leave a little margin, it'll actually almost look like it's die cut. Look at that. Very simple. I just try to keep it easy, quick and easy. So then I'm just going to take my mounting tape right here. Just going to tear off a little bit, and then peel off. Just flip it over like that. And then just attach it to the background here. Look at that. Okay, then I'm going to take my rhinestones that I have here. Just peel off a few, just 3. So even a pack like this goes a long way. You could do pearls in here, you could do rhinestones. We do have pearl pens, and you can just squeeze on whatever size pearls you want inside there, and then you could put glitter on it. It could be glittery pearls, or you could just let it just dry as is. See, the card actually looks finished as is, but I'm going to show you how to do the bow. So you just take some ribbon. Make sure you have tails long enough to so that you're able to control what happens to the ribbon. So like that. Better to be too long than not long enough, because you can always cut off the excess. So I'm just going to just leave it like this for now, just loosely. Oops, it's a little stiff, so it's a little hard to keep it in place. But anyway, just going to take another piece right here and fold it into loops like that. Just trim that off. So you've got this. So now, let's see. Let me fix this bow. It's kind of curling out, so I switched it to where it's curling in more so. Okay, so you have to be a little coordinated here. But the more you practice, the better you get at it. So then you just lay this here, and then just tie a knot. Notice I didn't tie any bows. I just only tied knots. The bow comes from just creating that double loop. So the key thing here is making sure this is extra tight, because when it's extra tight, then I can manipulate it and pull. So you want to pull all the tails downward so that it looks like they're hanging down, and then you pull the loops upward. And if it's angled, or if it's turning, you just turn it the opposite direction like that. So once again, you make sure that the knot is really tight. So I'm just gonna pull it this direction. So I'm gonna cut off the ends. And then to move the bow, all you have to do is curl the card a little bit, and then you can slide it up or down like that. So here, let me fix this one. There, it's better. So like I said, you need a tight knot. There, look at that. So this one, I just stamped the flowers directly on the cardstock. Here's a variation. So I stamped those flowers on a separate cardstock, cut them out so that you can have some dimension. But you don't have to. It's just, I just want to show you that there's more you can do. And I actually stamped a polka dotted background there too. So just slight variations. You can even change out the colors if you want to do lavender and pink. You do pink or yellow and blue. Just all kinds of versions you could do. So very simple. And let me switch back to the camera here. So hi. Okay, so here's the card. Here's the one with the polka dotted upper portion. And then here's the one I just did. And notice when I stamped it, I took my time. Normally when I do this, I can do this very, very quickly. And the neat thing about doing a card like this could be a great go-to style or go-to layout. So let's say you're in a hurry and you're going to a birthday party. You could do the same exact thing, but maybe put a birthday cake there. Or if you're going to a wedding, same thing. Just put a wedding cake there or a bouquet. Very, very simple. So you can use that as a go-to. Because today I did a survey on Facebook. And people told me that they would take between an hour to several hours to make a card. And that's true, because when you're doing the design process, that could take a long time because you want to, just enjoy the process and take your time. But let's say you're in a hurry, have some go-to layouts that you can do so that frees you up, because that'll allow you to be relaxed and enjoy. So if you have a layout like this, then you could just kind of take your time to maybe add some layers to it, or maybe figure out what kind of stamps you want to do. So you're not only having to take the time to design, but also doing the techniques and the process to it. This will free you up to be more creative. So the more relaxed you are, the more creative you can be. So if you can enjoy the process, then you're really going to be able to do it more often, because it'll be fun and relaxing and therapeutic. But otherwise, if it's too stressful, like too many layers, or if it has to be precisely colored in, that's when it's hard. So that's the beauty of DeNami Design, is we have really simple stamps. Like even when I did the border, I didn't have to be precise. And actually, if I was in a real hurry, I could just go across there with my marker without even having to do every scallop. Because the key to having a beautiful card is making sure your design is cleanly stamped. So with a great ink pad and clean images, then the coloring is not going to be so distracting. It doesn't have to be exactly in line. The only time it's going to be a little bit hard is if you're doing a dark color. But if it's light like this, you're just adding like a color wash to it. So anyway, that's my little tip for the day. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Be sure to like this, this post, this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and don't miss out on the next time I do the next video. So thanks again. Hope you have a great day. See you next time. Bye.